folks, rent has officially got out of control.
I just opened up this letter and it says your new rent amount is $2,300.
My rent went up to $1,622.
Y'all, is it that ridiculously bad now?
There's no way the rent is this high.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy J28SMS, and I'm back with another banger for y'all. Do you feel like the economy has you in a chokehold? Do you feel like you go online and you look around trying to find an apartment and you just literally can't? Because it doesn't matter if you're in the trenches of the trenchiest trench or in the upscale downtown apartments, the price just doesn't seem to be fluctuating at all.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Rent prices are getting absolutely out of control and just contributing to the overall struggle of a lot of people in today's economy in the US. I'm not looking for you guys to pay me rent, but what I would really appreciate is if you smash the subscribe button down below and drop the like on the video. Every single sub and like really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate it. As I mentioned, we're trying to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible so that we can help as many people as possible become better with personal finance and more comfortable with money. If that sounds like a plan to you, sounds like a plan to me. Without further ado, let's get into our first clip.
Y'all, is no way. I'm looking up apartments inside of DC. Y'all, is no way the rent is this high. It's like higher than New York City right now. I look up a 2-bedroom, 2-bath plus a den apartment. They want $7,800, and that's not even included utilities, nothing like that. Like, it's criminal right now to be living in DC. Market rent. Like, you got to be with like a program or something, man, because it's criminal. Like a studio apartment, $3,500 for 500 square feet. You ain't even got a room.
$3,000 for a studio apartment is absolutely ridiculous and diabolical no matter where you live in the country, right? I understand that. I'm not going to come on here and gaslight people by saying rent ain't a problem. Rent prices all over the US are out of control, astronomically high. There's a housing crisis as well that's kind of runs parallel to the rent issue, where it's like prices of houses are constantly going up because interest rates are super high at the moment. The days of 3% on a home with nothing down are done, right? That's like 2008, 2009 housing crisis crash, right? The crash. Laws are so strict around building around the country that more homes just aren't being built. So with the interest rates rising, homes not being built, and then people not wanting the value of their home to drop for those people that already own homes, prices are just astronomically high. And then what does that do? That opens up a bigger market for people that rent, that are unable to afford buying a home or just don't want to have to rent.
You triggered my trap card!
And so now with the demand, you just get classic capitalism greed, where prices just go exponentially higher because they know that people are going to pay or have to pay whatever they offer for rent. I will say, all those things considered, it does still matter usually where you live in regards to how much overpriced rent that you're going to pay, right? Like if you're living in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, right by Times Square, you're going to pay up the yin yang for a small apartment, right? A very small apartment that you could probably get for $400 down south somewhere. Your location and what's available, the different amenities, and what other people are willing to pay are all going to have an impact on how much rent you pay.
How did the price of rent go from annoying to nearly impossible? People are paying $1,800 for a 1-bedroom, no parking, no updates, and don't even ask about appliances. And the landlord still wants you to make 3x that to qualify. Rent used to be tight, now it's survival mode. How much is your rent in your area?
I'm from the East Coast, right? Up in Boston. We did it! The prices are just as expensive with all of our cities, right? New York, super expensive. Boston, super expensive. Philly, super expensive. DC sounds like it's super expensive, which I didn't even know before making this video. Maybe living in the East Coast just isn't the best option right now. Personally, I have some friends that live down south, and I know for a fact that they pay way less for more than we do up here. Obviously, it's not as easy to just relocate so you can pay less rent. Especially if you have a family or other things, I totally get that, but depending on where you live will affect how much you pay. She also mentioned different housing programs. I know that a lot of luxury apartments are forced by law to have a certain number of low-income housing apartment options in the building.
There's a building that one of my clients lives in on Beverly. The city required them to put middle-income, low-income housing in the building, even though the building is a building for billionaires. So the building has had a very difficult time selling units.
And so maybe those are different programs that you guys can look into. Up here, there's a bunch of gentrification that's happening in some of the lower income, historically people of color neighborhoods. So what you're having happen is super weird, right? You'll have a neighborhood that's got bodegas and corner stores and stuff, getting like Equinox gyms on the corner, or this random like high price affluent restaurant that's in between two barbershops that I grew up going to. Like it's super weird stuff that's starting to happen like that. And so it's changing the atmosphere of the neighborhoods, but also you have people that are willing to pay those prices because they're not familiar with the neighborhood. They don't even know they're living in the trenches. How many times you drive up the street and you see someone that you know is not from the neighborhood and they just out walking their dog? They are willing to pay the price to be where they're at because of the location. If you're familiar with the Boston landscape, a lot of the low income neighborhoods are just south of the city. And so what you have is a lot of people are coming in that have the big bucks that's willing to pay to be in the location, but they have no idea that they're deep in the trenches, or they just don't care because they're thinking, hey, we'll dump some money into here, we'll relocate all these people here, and we'll just be good.
Wow, man. Damn.
$1,800 for an apartment, I don't care what size, before utilities is diabolical. 80 to 85% of people in the US can't afford that. And most people aren't affording it. They're making the payments, but they're drowning in debt.
I know a way to get these motherfucking rent prices down. How about we all just go out in the land of God, all be homeless. We all buy some RVs and mobile homes. I bet them got rent prices will go down then. It is unbelievable for these landlords to be charging this amount of money for some bullshit. I get it. It's all about following. Once one person do, the other one follow. If one landlord raise a rent, the other one gonna raise a rent too. Especially when it's demand. It's a sad day to see people struggling.
Obviously, he's bringing some jokes to the situation, but there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. If a lot of people stopped paying these ridiculous rent payments, then the prices would be forced to go down because no one's going to just have an empty unit. Everybody's going to want to be able to make some type of money off their investment. Or maybe they took debt out to be able to afford the apartment that they're renting out, and they have to be able to take some payment in to pay for the apartment. So many people not being able to afford homes because of astronomically high interest rates and lack of building. It's forcing people to have to rent, and so they can just charge whatever they want. They see people are paying it, so it's like, yo, if I know the thing's worth $3, but I'm making you pay 10 and you're paying 10 every time, why would I start charging 3? Knowledge. It's greedy, but it's also the smart thing that makes sense as well.
I'm a New York City teacher. I do pay about $3,000 a month in rent, and we're going to talk about it. I did try to find apartments for cheaper, but it was so hard. I do live in Westchester. When I lived in the Bronx, I did not have a good experience. I am a person who lives alone. It is hard to be a woman existing in the Bronx alone. I also have a gym in my building. I use the gym every day. I have a pool. I have a dog park. There are a lot of things that I pay for in my rent. So yeah, I just kind of want to know what other people are paying and like how they use their teacher salary. But yeah, I know that I'm living above my means, which people in that post said. I do agree. I'm not bragging about that rent because it is nothing to brag about. But again, this is what I got. I am not fortunate enough to have family who takes care of me or helps me in any way. So I have to do what I have to do and take care of me, and that's what I'm doing right now. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro. This is one of the craziest clips I've ever seen. $3,000 she's paying on a New York City teaching salary. That is just so crazy. I know for a fact there's no way that she's not in debt. There's no way she's able to sustain this lifestyle. If she doesn't have any roommates or other people that are helping make those payments, or a partner or something, there's no way she's surviving. There's no shot. Like, she probably makes 30 grand or 40 grand a year. There's no way that she's paying $3,000. Like, what is the math on that, bro? I gotta pull out my calculator real quick. Like, bro, that's $36,000 a year she's paying to rent that apartment in New York. Like, one, I know it's tiny. It may or may not have rats.
Where'd you get that?
Like, I'm not even talking down on her. She had mentioned it has a pool and all different types of amenities, which I'm sure are super nice, but that is crazy. Like, she's probably drowning in debt. You don't really need a car because it's New York, so she probably doesn't have a car payment, but if she does, that's on top. Student loans if she went to school to get a master's to become a teacher. Eating in New York, like, it's hard to buy in bulk because they don't have big stores. It's like a lot of eating out in bodegas. I don't even want to know what those numbers are looking like. The other thing I'll say about this is I totally can empathize with the fact that she says she doesn't have any support or other people that can help, and she didn't like living in the Bronx because she felt unsafe, and so she moved to Westchester, which I'm assuming is a little bit outside the city and super expensive. At the same time, while I can understand those things, you didn't have to go and get an apartment for $3 grand though. Like, I'm sure you could find something for $2 grand, which is still cooked for her situation, but I feel like she went to get something that was a want, justified as a need for some other like like legitimate necessities. But $3 grand, my goodness, bro. On a teacher's salary, like, oh my god.
Listen, these apartment complexes are getting off. I mean, what type of apartments are y'all living in where the rent is $1,500 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment? Are these high ceiling luxury granite marble island countertop? Like, are y'all living in regular apartments?
The short answer to this is absolutely not. As I mentioned, if you're living up north, anywhere close to Boston, like on the East Coast, $1,500 is just gonna get you a basic bare bones apartment. We did it! It might not even be able to get you an apartment. You might have to bump it up to like $1,750, $2,000 range. And so there will be no high ceilings and there will be no marble top floors. You're lucky if you even gonna get a parking spot. But down south, as I mentioned, if you pay $1,500 in Arkansas or Charlotte or some of these other places, Texas even, you probably get a castle for $1,500. Moat with crocodiles in it and everything. Be conscious of where y'all living at. This next clip I'm about to show you is a perfect example of that.
See if you can guess how much I've been paying monthly. So you come in, got this gorgeous flooring, long hallway. Come into the living room. And that TV unit has always been there. This is the dining room with a log burner. The dining room is actually huge. Wouldn't recommend stone flooring though. It never gives you the satisfaction of it being clean. Then there's a storage cupboard here. I'm scared of spiders. Humongous cellar down there. It's scary. This is the kitchen. That's where the fridge goes. And outside, you've got a little yard as well. This is the bathroom. And I'm gonna miss this bath. And this is the big bedroom. And it had this fitted wardrobe when I moved in. That's been a lifesaver. But look at that wall. I genuinely loved living here. The crime rate wasn't great. I had my car stolen and my hire car broken into. There's an Aldi next door, so that's been convenient. It's near Townley Park, which is a gorgeous walk, and it's near Burnley Town Centre. The total cost for this was $695 a month, and I think he's only putting it up to $750.
Yo, y'all seeing all that? She said she's paying $675 for that, and when she's moving out, the landlord said he's gonna bump it up to $750. $750 for that with a fireplace, and this is a home that she's renting, by the way. She got a yard, full kitchen, multi-bedrooms, bathroom with a tub and a shower in it, and all that for $750. Judging on her accent, I'm gonna just guess that she either doesn't live in the U.S. or she lives somewhere so deep in the South, like deep in the South, or just somewhere random in the Midwest or something like that, because there is no way that this is anywhere other than like Trench, Ohio. You know what I'm saying?
Cleveland! This is for you!
She did mention that there's crime, so it might not have been the best area possible, but even still with the crime, bro, like there's places in Boston I know for a fact that you can pay $2 grand in the trenches, as I mentioned, because of gentrification and not even bat an eye. And you gonna have a closet. Like, she got a yard. We did it! But as I said, it just goes to show, depending on where you live, is gonna significantly impact how much you pay for rent.
Full-time employed person living in Florida and not being able to afford to live. I have spent my whole day off trying to find a, more affordable place to live because I can't afford $1,300 a month in rent and then a $650 car note and then $300 in insurance and then you got utilities and it's just it's either I eat or I pay my bills, and then even then it's like, okay, well, which bill's gonna be late this month? And I'm so sick of all these apartment complexes and realtors and even private renters. You so hard. I nor anybody else should be working 60 plus hours a week and not be able to live. I'm about to crash the out.
So it sounds like she's struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, and this is a classic example, as we always talk about, guys, as someone that's living above their means. You triggered my trap card! She's paying $1,300 a month for an apartment, and it sounds like she's in debt trying to make all these other payments, like for the car and for food and all this other stuff. If you can't afford your basic necessities for life, guys, as we always say, this is before vacations, before traveling, all that, then you're just living above your means. You triggered my trap card! I am proud, right? She's saying that she's trying to look for a better situation, like a better apartment to be that's less expensive, but depending on where she lives and depending on where she's looking, it may or may not be possible for her. So let this be a cautionary tale. It's like, before you sign that lease, make sure that you got enough money to eat. And if you want to make sure I have enough money to eat, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, guys. drop a like on the video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. As I said, we're trying to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And every sub and every like really helps, and I greatly appreciate it. YouTube thinks you'll like one of the videos popping up down below, so feel free to check them out. But until next time, J2A SMS out of here. Peace.